Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the TLC Podcast. I am your host, Eric, joined as always by my co host, Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. We are sitting here on the eve of what I consider maybe the biggest weekend on the wrestling calendar. Obviously, number one's WrestleMania weekend, but I think
Right.
flying under the radar is this weekend. And I mean, there's
Really,
what?
it is flying under the radar. I mean, last year they kind of did it with Labor Day weekend,
Yeah,
and now we're getting spoiled with Memorial Day weekend as well.
yeah. I've got to tell you, man, I am so stoked. I am excited for Under Siege on Friday night on
Right.
Impact. I've been trying to get back into it the last couple of weeks, and Impact Wrestling, I think, is real. Don't tell anybody. It might be the hottest wrestling promotion right now.
It really is. I do apologize right now. My wife walked in, and our new puppy thinks that she's Roman Reigns, and when you walk in, you have to acknowledge her.
Well, hey, I mean that's a smart dog. Acknowledge mom, and
No, she needs to be acknowledged.
absolutely
Right.
sure.
She thinks she's the tribal chief here.
Well, allow me to acknowledge your wife now, tribal chief.
No, I'm talking about the dog acts like we have to acknowledge her.
I'm saying, and I am accepting the dog's idea of acknowledging you.
She thinks she's the queen of the castle already, this little puppy.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
new puppies often do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're gonna have quite the weekend with all the wrestling to view and having the puppy around. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
That it will be. And I'll be doing a toy show at a flea market. So that's going to be a long weekend.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that your Saturday you won't be watching Night of Champions, which takes place during the day on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
Yeah.
Good marketing there, WWE. Um, Night of Champions starting at 1 p.m.
Well, at least it's night in Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
So they do get brownie points for that.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I will say they did kind of pivot that one on the fly. They were trying to do King of the Ring. Not sure what happened.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I guess they just figured why do it if you weren't. Maybe the plan was to have Drew McIntyre win King of the Ring.
It
And
might have
when,
been.
and when Drew and WWE haven't really, I know they're still negotiating. Uh, so talks haven't completely broke down. He's not a free agent.
Right. He's still under contract for this year, is what I
Right.
read. So,
Right. And I know WWE's being very lenient with the idea of letting him stay at home while he negotiates,
yeah.
which I think is a classy move. I think it's something maybe they should do a bit more often, not
Yeah.
have the guys traveling while they're trying to negotiate.
Yep.
Uh,
And try to figure it out. I mean,
yeah. And I have plenty of confidence that they will. I think with the company and everything being in flux with the sale of the company, I think Drew's trying to have a wait and see attitude of what the company's going to look like.
and who can blame him at this point?
Yeah, this has all kind of been, we've been flying by the seat of our pants really for the last year and a half or so since Vince McMahon stepped down.
Right. And now it's like, what are they going to do next step?
Right, and Vince McMahon's kind of back in the fold as they try to sell the company, and it's been sold, but they're
Right.
trying to figure out what the transition's going to look like. And boy, the optics of right after the announce of the sale, and then Vince McMahon has control of Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania, and like I could say it was a drizzling turd.
Yeah.
With all due respects to drizzling turds everywhere.
Yeah. It was bad that Raw.
Oh,
That Raw was real bad. But
it just seemed like the whole thing with the whole Brock Lesnar turning on Cody, which I was fine with, but the way they do it, like with Brock Lesnar coming out like he's going to team with Cody just to drop him during the introductions,
Right.
like that just really seemed odd and out of place.
Yeah.
And you could tell Roman and Solo didn't quite know what was going on. I don't know if they even knew the plans going out there.
Who knows? I mean, it was just a catastrophe.
Like, I could see Vince McMahon going up to Brock and saying to Brock Lesnar before the match starts, "Hey, you're dropping Cody right now," like during introductions.
Right. Not even telling Cody.
Right, and then Cody just kind of getting caught by surprise. Maybe he knew a turn was happening that night, but just didn't
Maybe.
know when.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous. But you know what? At least they haven't been that bad in the past couple months.
No, I will say after the drizzling shit that was night after WrestleMania, they really delivered with some good Monday Night Raws, including this past week.
Yeah, they really did.
Like, am I the only one that is really enjoying this story? Like, tell me this doesn't scream. Now I'm really convinced that you are 100% right that we're getting Cody Roman too at WrestleMania
I think.
because this is the year-long chase. I
Yeah.
mean, Cody's broken arm, Dusty's broken leg.
Oh yeah, it's very similar at this.
Like, come on, like that is very similar.
We're going back. We've gotten into the DeLorean, and we're going back to 1985. Literally, no pun intended here.
Yeah, yeah, we're back in 1985. Roman Reigns is your Ric Flair, Cody playing the part of his dad, Dusty.
Well, it really is.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal how they've done that.
And I like the balancing act that they're doing between the Wayback Machine with Cody and what they're doing right now with Roman. And like, do you think? I don't think they win the tag titles on Saturday.
I think somehow, some way, the Usos get involved.
Yeah,
I think the Usos plan backfires. Sammy and Kevin win. And then
Mhm.
I think we're going to set up for a Money in the Bank tag team match.
right. And that's what I've seen a lot of advertisements about: Solo and Roman against the Usos at Money in the Bank. And do you have the like? Are we gonna come back to SummerSlam? Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns,
I don't think it's going to be Jay.
or is it Solo?
I think it's going to be Jimmy.
Ooh,
We've
now that's
already,
the one I haven't seen speculated. Okay.
we've already had Jay versus Roman in the
Mhm.
beginning of the Bloodline story.
Yeah,
So is the Enforcer. Why not give Jimmy his turn to shine?
I would absolutely love it. I think it would be massive. I mean, this would be the biggest stage. SummerSlam, to a lot of people, they argue that SummerSlam is the second biggest show on the WWE calendar.
Yeah.
And I could see that argument. To
Yeah,
me, it's between Royal Rumble and SummerSlam.
right. Yeah. To me, it's a coin flip between the two. And then
Yeah,
Survivor Series
it's definitely four. Yeah,
has gone to the fourth. Yeah.
yeah, and it's wow. That would be something. A Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso on the second biggest stage on the WWE calendar.
Yeah.
You put Roman Reigns in there with one of the twins. I think that would be absolutely awesome.
You
I
know,
would be so happy for them. And think about it, like as now Impact has Trinity and she's facing Giselle Shaw, wouldn't it be something you could basically over a 3 month period have Jimmy Uso and Trinity headline the big one of the two biggest shows on the calendar for two different promotions? As you know, it would make a ton of sense if Trinity didn't headline, but like was in the Knockouts Championship match against Deonna Purrazzo at Bound for Glory.
that would be good. That would be good. And I think that's going to happen.
I think so too, because she
And
faces Giselle Shaw on Friday night at Under Siege. We'll get to our. I guess we can go ahead and do our predictions. I was just going to go with a couple matches from each card because all three, all four cards are so stacked that
Right.
I feel like it could take us an entire hour to
I mean,
just talk about those.
we could just do all four cards. I mean, it's up to you.
All right. If you have all four cards in front of you, because I don't have all four in front of me. Okay, well, you've
I
got the
have
Google
tabs.
machine there.
I have tabs. All right, so should we do like a prediction contest that lasts all the way to next WrestleMania?
Yeah, you know what? I think we should.
Okay, so if we do that, should we do a point a match or should we like vary it?
A point for a win. I think maybe if you can predict an ending and it's close to spot on,
Okay.
I think you can get a bonus point.
I was thinking, do we do a point for a regular win, 2 for a title match, and 3 for the main event of the show?
Okay.
Kind
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
Kind of go
That
for
way, more emphasis on the main events.
more
Yeah.
emphasis on the main events. And when we predict, obviously we won't know the main event at the time, but the last match, as we said.
The last match is the main event, and that's what we'll go with. Yeah.
All right. So I have the Under Siege card up here.
Okay.
Should we skip the prelim match?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the first match they have listed, it might be the main event, the world title match between Macklin and PCO.
To me, this is a job to PCO is there to do a job, and he is there to get Steve Macklin and further establish him as the top guy. This is Steve Macklin retaining.
I would concur with that prediction. I think Macklin will win.
It reminds me a lot of Cactus Jack and his when he was the first title defense for Ron Simmons when he won the world title.
Okay, at that Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Here's one. Next match is the last chance match for the the knockout title between Perazzo and Grace.
Ooh. God, I love this rivalry. It's probably been the best knockouts rivalry of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I don't want to see it end, I think Deonna Purrazzo retains.
Okay. All right. You know what? I got to go different.
Okay.
I think Grace is. I think they're gonna. I don't think they want to lose Jordan Grace. I think they want to sign her long term and they want to keep her in the title picture.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you have her lose, it's like, yeah, you could always just say, well, you could have Deonna Purrazzo drop the title in short order, but like, what do you do with Jordan Grace in the meantime?
Exactly. And the thing is, they can always have Purrazzo beat Grace again at one of the other events.
Yeah, agreed. And then you can still come back to the having the idea of Trinity versus Purrazzo at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I think so. For the X Division title, we have Trey Miguel against Chris Sabin.
Can I just say, before I give my prediction, I love this new Trey Miguel character, which I just got to see it in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, the disrespectful.
Yeah, I really dig it. I'm really into it. It kind of screams that NWO cool edge to it.
It does.
With the spray painting the title.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, Chris Sabin's awesome. I'm also a huge Chris Sabin fan. You know what? I don't have any title changes yet in predicted, so I'll just say that's a title change. I'll say Chris Sabin wins.
All right, Sabin, you got it. Oh, this is tough because they're both been with Impact for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very high on him, but I'm going to go with Miguel, Trey Miguel.
Okay, so yeah, awesome. We have two differences.
This one will probably be different. The 6-way match to determine the number one contender.
Yeah.
Alex Shelley, Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Edwards, Jonathan Grisham, Moose, and Yamura.
You know, they've been doing a lot with the feature on the interview with Frankie Kazarian, and I feel like that is a build for him to get another world title match. So I'll say Frankie Kazarian wins.
Okay. And believe it or not, I'm going with Kazarian too.
Oh wow, we had six options. We both chose the
We
same one.
both chose to say that doesn't happen much. Now,
No,
I think that they're building him back up. I think it's
yeah,
time for him to get a title shot soon.
yeah. I think that's like that. That's what makes the most sense. Like, why would you invest all this time with the big sit down interview if you weren't going to at least give him a championship match?
Exactly. Like I know he went from AEW to Impact, and I think
Mm-hmm.
they're building him up for that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next one is a 6-man tag with Rich Swann, Sammy Callahan, and a to be announced partner against the Design.
I God, I love this. This guy, this really screams Willie Mack,
It does.
but I don't know if Willie Mack. I know he left Impact, and I don't know if he's gone back. You know, guys bounce around to all different companies all the
Yeah.
time. So I'll go with the team of Callahan, Swan, and TBD.
I'm going to go with that too because whenever there's a TBD, chances are they win.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always been my theory with that. It's
You know, it'd be funny, and like, do we know that EY is signed with WWE?
he that from what I've heard, what I've read is he has signed since December or November.
Wow. Because I was just thinking, man, wouldn't it be funny if WWE had actually they signed him and let him out of his contract before they even used him to debut,
No,
and they didn't really nobody knows about it, and all of a sudden he's back in it, and he's the third guy taking on the Design.
that would be hilarious because the way they wrote him off and all, that would be really good.
Yeah. Okay. What's next on the card?
Next on the card, Trinity against Giselle Shaw.
Well, clearly this has got to be Trinity. I mean, she's the new girl. She's the flavor of the month.
Yeah.
She's getting the dub.
There's no doubt. Another new flavor of the month. Nick Aldis against Kenny King.
Same reasons as the knockouts match. I'm going with Nick Aldis.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I wrote down my 3 while you were talking. So I have Trinity, Nick Aldis, and then the Impact Tag Team title match. Ace Austin, and Chris Bay against Subculture.
Yeah, ABC versus Subculture. I'm going to go ABC.
All right. I am going to go different. I'm going to go with Subculture.
Okay.
I think they're new to Impact.
That's true. Yeah.
I think they have a name, and it might be time because ABC's been having that tag team division for a while.
Yeah, really. I mean, they're the ones that kind of chased out the Good Brothers, and it's really been theirs for a while. And it's funny because they were kind of just getting to that point when I stopped watching Impact, and now I've turned back on Impact for the first time in about 6 months, and they're still right there.
Exactly. So I think it might be time for a change.
Okay.
So, well, that's the Under Siege card.
Okay. So if we're going chronological, the next up would be Night of Champions.
Yes. And here we go. 7 matches.
Okay.
First match listed is the tournament final for the World Heavyweight title between Rollins and Styles.
It's funny. I've seen a lot of like one of the things I saw was that Seth Rollins is supposedly going to be going off to do a movie.
Right.
I have to believe this is going to be more in the way that John Cena used to go off and do movies, in which it was like he'd be at Raw and then he'd leave Monday Night Raw and go right to the movie taping and basically work the whole week doing movies and then be back at the next week's Raw. So
I
I have to believe I still think Seth's going to win.
right. That's
And
how
then I think he'll be on Raw and I would love to see him do an open challenge. They talk about this is going to be for a fighting champion.
yep.
Like, I'd love to see him show up on Raw, do an open challenge, and then surprise everybody, show up on SmackDown on Friday night, and also do an open challenge there.
That would be interesting to try to really promote the new title.
Right.
Because so many people have said, oh, it's a secondary. It's not a secondary. It is a world title.
Man makes the belt, and if you put it on Seth, or AJ for that matter, they will make that championship great.
They will. Next match listed. I think we've talked about it before. The Cody versus Brock match.
Yeah, we talked about it. This again screams this is all about the climb for Cody. This 2023, it might as well be Hannah Montana's All About the Climb.
Right.
Like showing my knowledge of crappy music from the early 2000s. And so that, like, I believe this is Cody getting knocked down a peg.
Okay.
This is Brock Lesnar getting the win. And I told you before, my idea now for whether it be Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, I want Cody Rhodes to come out and challenge Brock Lesnar to a match at one of those two cards in an I Quit match.
I think that could be a very possible scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Cody on this.
Okay.
I for some reason, I think Brock's a little too predictable.
Yeah, I can see that.
Everything that's happening. And I think I can see it going either way, but there might be that surprise of Cody coming out and just shocking the world again.
And I do think it would be a shock. In this kind of environment, it's a street fight.
Yes.
Brock's basically, I think, going to pummel him at some point, and it's gonna look gruesome no matter how they spin this.
It's got to look gruesome. It's a street fight match. It's the Beast. It's Cody. It's going to get gruesome. And I think it's.
I feel like this has got to be a spot where Cody gets bloodied. Brock got bloodied last month. Cody gets bloodied this month.
Yep. I think so too.
Yeah.
Next match on the list is the tag team title match. KO and Sami Zayn against the Bloodline. And I got to go off about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Why have a draft?
Yeah.
And have the very next card, Super Show, Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Well, I mean, this is where we talked about Kevin and Sami being both the Raw and SmackDown tag team champions, how that could create a conflict.
Yep.
And
I think it has already.
Yeah, I think it already has. Like, to me, this match shouldn't be for the unified undisputed tag team titles. This should just be for the SmackDown tag team titles.
Yep.
And that would make a ton of sense to me.
Right. And then that way you can actually get them off of those two.
Right.
But now that it's just for both, you really need those two to hold the titles longer.
Right, because if Roman wins them along with Solo, like, basically now the tag titles would be held ransom.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, and God forbid Roman wrestles. Roman can't wrestle once a month. Now we're going to ask him to wrestle twice in a night? Like,
ain't going to happen.
Nah.
No. So I'm going with Kevin and Sami.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I'm going with Kevin and Sami is just the logistics of it. Like, Roman only wrestles in these big cards. They protected him. They spent so much time putting him in this role to where he's like Brock Lesnar when he was champion.
Yep.
And it's so funny how Roman seemed to have such an issue with Brock Lesnar because he was a part timer.
And now,
And now Roman's the part timer.
correct.
And so, yeah, like, to me, this does scream that this has to be Kevin and Sammy retaining.
Yeah, I think so.
And I like what we were talking about before, that this has got to be like somehow the Usos misfire and cost Roman and
So
Solo the
they have
tag
to.
titles. Yeah,
Some chicanery's got to happen because I think we're at that point where we need the bloodline tag team match.
yeah. Like, and if it doesn't happen now, like when? Like
When
it has to happen now.
right.
And the
Not
next logical choice is Money in the Bank. It
right.
makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
I mean, heck, if you wanted to, you could have that match close the show, and there can be that intrigue of, is the Money in the Bank ladder match winner going to try to cash in on Roman? Because God knows when he's going to wrestle again,
That would be awesome. That would be incredible. But
right?
I have a hunch whoever wins Money in the Bank is going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the way they get Seth Rollins off TV if they need to, for him to film a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Next match listed, I guess I should just write our predictions down. Gunther against Ali.
yeah, Gunther.
Yeah. I really don't see anything changing that. I think Gunther's going to break the record.
And I think he should. Like, I'll be excited for it.
Me too. I love Gunther. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he has got future world champion written all over him.
Yep. The next match, I think, is going to be intriguing because the WrestleMania match was a dud. Bianca and Asuka.
Yeah, the WrestleMania match, it kind of sucked. So I'll be curious to see how they do in this redo.
Yes.
Gotta love two SmackDown stars working for the Raw Women's Championship, but
And two Raw stars working for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
yeah, like this makes zero sense to me. Like,
No, it doesn't.
I guess screw it. I'll just say I think Asuka's gonna win.
Okay.
I figure if I just keep betting against Bianca, at some point I have to be right.
It's going to happen. And you know what? I'm going with you.
All
I
right.
think this might be Asuka's time. I think really after Backlash,
Yeah.
I think they're really starting to hear that people aren't with Bianca. I think she might need the title taken off of her to make her character relevant again.
Yeah, I think she needs that chase like Cody, like they figured Cody needed the chase.
Right.
I feel like Bianca needs to get some of that. Like, she
Chase.
needs to have a battle to overcome again. Like, she
Right.
hasn't really had a battle to overcome since Becky Lynch.
Yeah, she's been flat.
Yeah.
She's been very flat. Next match would be Rhea against Natalia.
Natalia is awesome. Like, I've said it before, I think she's one of the best female wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, as great as I think she is, her job in here, just like I mentioned, PCO's job to put over Steve Macklin, Natalia's job is to make Rhea look like a killer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen myself.
Yeah.
I think that this Rhea reign, I'll say it now, I think it's going to go to at least next WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it could go beyond next year's WrestleMania.
I think it's going to go beyond it. I think they have put their eggs in her basket, which at first I wasn't sure about because watching the very beginnings of NXT UK, not going to lie, I always liked Tony Storm better. I thought Tony Storm might be the one. I
was always a big Tony Storm fan.
But the fact how they've made Rhea such a an interesting and great character. I love it. And I
Yeah,
think she's going to carry on this title for a while.
I agree. I think this is the beginnings of a very lengthy Rhea title reign.
Right. And if anyone deserves it, I think it's Rhea in the
Absolutely.
women's division. And then, speaking of former women's champions, the final match of Night of Champions is listed is Trish against Becky.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to try to build this a little while longer. And they still might. Like, I could see them doing something underhanded. Trish does something, maybe pull some tights, and I'm going to pick Trish to win
Okay.
in an upset just because I feel like it's going to keep the rivalry going. Because I think once Becky beats Trish, the rivalry's kind of dead.
Right. And
And I think they want it to last till SummerSlam.
I think so too. I'm going with Trish.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if Lita interference.
Yeah, especially like if Lita interferes on behalf of Trish.
Yes, that wouldn't shock me.
No.
And then, because this way we could go down another very interesting rabbit hole.
Dude, you know what would be great? So you have Trish and Lita on one side.
And I think you're reading my mind here.
Becky and Charlotte.
That's what I'm thinking. I
Ooh,
think we could go down this rabbit hole and have
yes, best frenemies.
best frenemies feud. And that would sell a lot of tickets at SummerSlam, right there.
I gotta be honest, that would put my butt in a seat.
That would put a lot of people in a seat and let them go. Just
Yeah,
I mean, let's face it. I will say it, I've always been a huge Bailey fan, still am a Bailey fan, but that would be probably the two biggest names in each generation teaming up against each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had Bailey on side, you'd have to have Sasha Banks back, and that's
We don't need that.
no. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you were gonna do, Bailey and someone against Trish and Lita, I think
It
it
would
would
have to
be
be
Bailey
Sasha, yeah.
and Sasha. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to be the Boston Hug or
Right. No, I don't want it to be Boston Hug, whether it be,
Golden Role models.
Yeah, I don't want either version of that. I would just want the two of them to just kind of be their each individual stars, just
Right.
happening to be facing Trish and Lita in a tag match.
Yeah.
But no, I love this idea of the man and the opportunity against, Trish Stratus and Lita, and both as heels. And people forget, like, because it's been so long. Lita, when she left the company, she left as a heel
She did.
in a very heel way.
Yeah.
Like losing in Philly at Survivor Series.
Yep.
And
It would be amazing. I'm just saying.
and Crime Time in a segment that maybe wouldn't age too well now.
No, not at all.
No.
All right. Now, do you want to do, because they're both Sunday night.
Yeah, whatever order you want to do it in, that's fine. You know what? We'll make double or nothing. We're going to give them their moment. They get their flowers at the end.
Okay,
So
that's fine. Because
yeah.
I was thinking Battleground doesn't seem as big. So,
No, Battleground's definitely the B show for Sunday night.
okay. So we'll just start at the top of Battleground.
All right.
Mello against Braun.
This has got to be Carmelo Hayes retaining again. Like it's in Lowell, it's in his hometown. Yeah, if you watched NXT, they made a big deal about it. Like,
yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah,
not
to me, this has got to be when you call up Braun Breaker to either Raw or SmackDown.
I think so.
I would love to see him get called up to maybe answer a Seth Rollins Open Challenge for the WWE World Title.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Then they have the women's title match, which Laya Valkyrie and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I guess I'll go Tiffany Stratton. I expected this to be Stratton and Cora Jade, but
right,
nice little curveball to make it unpredictable for me. But yeah, I'll go Tiffany Stratton.
You know what? I wrote Tiffany Stratton down. All of a sudden, I'm thinking the curveball might be thrown again. I'm going to go with Valkyrie
Okay,
because they made her look strong the
they
past.
really did.
So maybe it is her time.
It's funny because when Valkyrie won her match, I almost kind of expected Roxanne Perez to beat Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was kind of like they were building up for that Stratton Jade. Not like
Yeah,
they're gonna, who knows what they're going to do? They might have Cora Jade turn face again, but I think that's too soon myself.
I agree. I feel like that would be very soon.
You know,
And particularly the masked assassin there getting the jump on Roxanne Perez at the end of NXT.
yeah,
I wonder if if they were to turn Cora Jade face, I would think it would be to save her friend Roxanne from the masked
that's it.
assassin there,
Yeah.
whoever that is.
So, next one, the only NXT UK championship still around, the Heritage Cup between Noam Dar and Dragon Lee.
Hasn't he been the Heritage Cup champion for like 1,000 days or something?
Hold on. If I
Maybe
click,
it's like 500.
let's see here. How long has he? 321 days. It says.
Oh, so not even a year. Okay.
Not even a year. I mean, he's on it for a while. I think it might be time for him to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just introducing it right now to the American audience.
Right.
Dragon Lee makes a ton of sense. He's a big international star. So I'll go Dragon Lee.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's time for Noam to lose it. I think it's
Yeah.
time for, if you're going to do this British round system and familiarize the American population with it,
Mm-hmm.
I think they had to put it on more frequently too, like after this. And I see them
Yes.
really maybe making a long feud with these two for this cup to try to give
That'd be fun.
it some value. Hopefully, we get NXT Europe soon.
You know what it sounds like? Remember Impact's Grand Champion?
Yes.
Their title matches? That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
The rounds. At least the rounds concept, and then the score. Do they have scorers that scored in case it goes the draw? Or
No, NXT UK, they didn't use scores.
okay.
This is the traditional British rules from back when we were kids on World of Sport. When
Yeah.
we had Big Daddy and they had Kendo Nagasaki and all the British stars. That's what this is reminiscent of.
Okay.
So
I'm looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a good match. I think that could low key steal the entire weekend.
that could, and I think this next match could steal the weekend too. The triple threat between Wesley, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy.
Yes, I am very excited about that match. I've been a big fan of Wesley ever since. Why is his partner's name escaping me?
Oh, Nash Carter.
Nash Carter. When that whole fiasco went down, when really it sounds like his ex-girlfriend just set out a spiteful old picture, a very old picture,
Very old, yes.
and got him fired because that's what you can do now in this day and age.
Yep.
Just like if somebody wanted to, they could probably reach back and find an old tweet or an old Facebook post of mine and get me canceled.
You never know in this crazy world with these people.
Yeah. You got to love it. It's just. But anyway, I'm a big fan of Wesley. I'm a big fan of Tyler Bate, and I'm a big fan of Joe Gacy. Flip a coin, Tyler Bate.
Okay, we're in agreement. I think it will be a Tyler Bate time for an NXT championship run because he did really well with the UK title for the twice he held it. He did hold the NXT Tag Team Championship for a cup of coffee with Trent Seven.
Trent Seven, yeah.
but I think it's time for him to have that long North American reign.
I agree. I agree. That would be yeah. I think he needs a big reign in the United States
Yeah.
on regular NXT television. It's gonna be great exposure for him. Like especially as you get ready to see some of these guys get called up. You haven't really had that influx of new talent
Yeah.
that typically they get after WrestleMania, and that's because of like the hiring freeze that they put on a temporary hiring freeze
Yep.
while they sold the company, and people freaked out over that. That's not a new thing. A lot of companies, when there's a big merger or anything like that, they do something like that.
Yeah. It's part of
And
business.
yeah, I feel like the people that are freaking out about that are people who probably the young kids who haven't been a part of the business world.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Or people who never been through a merger.
right.
Right. Another match that I think is going to be interesting: Ilya Dragunov against Dijak in a last man standing.
Yeah, that is going to be very interesting. It's one of those things I don't think would hurt either guy if they lose.
I don't think. I think it's going to be a strong match.
Yeah, I feel like both guys are going to come out of that like feeling like they won.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, so I guess I'll score another one. We're making it a nice British weekend. The whatchamacallit, the
The
North
UK.
American Championship.
Uh,
We had the Heritage Cup match happening on this card. I guess I'll go ahead and make it another round for NXT UK, and I'll have Ilya Dragunov win it.
Okay. And I'm going to agree with you. I think Dragunov is going to be one of their next big stars.
Yeah.
I think Triple H is a huge fan of Dijak as well, which is good because Vince didn't use him right. But I think it might be. I think both guys are going to come out looking strong, so it'll be
Agreed.
interesting to see what they're going to do.
You could have both guys end up moving towards the North American and NXT Championship title pictures after this.
You really could. You really could. Maybe that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I will say that regardless of whoever wins, they need to not do another rematch between the two of them after. Like this has been a nice rivalry. I feel like any more after this weekend, and it runs the risk of going stale.
Exactly. And we can't afford to have that with these two
No.
guys. So, yeah, I agree with you with Dragunov winning.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a nice little bow to wrap up the feud, have them go their separate ways.
Agreed.
And then the final match for this card is the Creeds against Gallus for the tag titles.
Can I just say these are two of probably my top 5 favorite tag teams, like in all of wrestling right now.
They are both great. I love it.
They are freaking awesome. Like I would just love to be the producer for that match. It's got to be so simple. Hey guys, why don't can you guys just go do that thing where you just tear the whole house down?
Right. Just go out, make it look like you're beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, just make it look awesome, guys. Like
just do what you do.
Just get the crowd to go crazy and chant "This is awesome" a few hundred times.
And they probably will.
Yeah.
And I think this might be a title change.
I think so too. I feel like Gallus has done great work as NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
It's time to give the Creeds their belts back.
Yes.
And they get one more nice little run as the tag champs before they get called up to the main roster.
Yep, I agree. I think there are days coming up soon. So
I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind seeing is Gallus in a feud with Judgment Day.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Like, I mean, the matches that those 6 could have against each other
would be amazing.
Whew.
Or even Gallus against Imperium.
Yeah, that would be it. Well, didn't we kind of have a preview of that in NXT UK?
You can always rehatch it on a bigger stage.
Yeah. No. I agree with you. And the thing is, it's like a lot of people, myself included, didn't watch NXT UK.
Right.
and maybe heard rumblings of this, like, oh man, Gallus and Imperium had this great rivalry, and
And it was.
now you put it out there, and it's like, holy, you could put those two teams against each other now, and it's like, holy crap, do other people know about this great rivalry? It's like, yeah, all the NXT UK fans, they know all about it.
The few morons who actually sat and watched every episode. I wonder who they are. All right,
One of
now
these days, I might have to sit down and do an NXT UK marathon.
it really was a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope when we get NXT Europe, it will kind of pick up from there.
I hope so too, and my intention is to watch NXT Europe when that debuts.
When it debuts, yes.
Yeah.
Now moving on to the final show of the
Wow,
busy
50
week.
minutes in, and we're finally on the last show. And we really thought we were going to have time to get to our top 100 list today.
Yeah. Double or nothing. Might as well just start at the top, the Four Pillars match.
Yeah,
I don't see a title change happening.
I don't either.
I think this is somehow, some way, Max is going to pull out his chicanery, maybe the Dynamite Diamond or something.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you part of a prediction here that I feel like it's going to start with MJF kind of trying to slide out of the ring, make the other three guys beat the hell out of each other. Eventually, they'll get the jump on him, and they'll all three whack the shit out of him. And, then somebody will go for a pin, and then that's when the Fatal 4-Way really starts.
Yep. And we're going to have a good one.
Yeah, and I do think it ends with... It's got to end with somebody, like maybe Darby Allin hitting a coffin drop or on maybe Sammy or Jungle Boy even, whatever, whoever. And MJF slides Darby Allin out of the ring and gets the pin to retain the championship.
You know what I'm kind of thinking?
Hmm.
I'm kind of thinking this might be. We saw him turn a couple weeks ago, but do you really see Don Callis with the Blackpool Combat Club?
Yeah, that's really weak.
I think it might be a Don Callis MJF alliance.
Ooh. Well, that could be interesting.
I think that would be really interesting if they want that route. So
yeah,
I would love to see, because I think Don Callis is phenomenal.
He really is, and he's such a great hateable face.
Oh, he really is. Put him and MJF together. God, people would hate them. Tony Khan, if you're watching this, make it happen.
Yeah, seriously, we have to have those two working together, manager and wrestler combo. Like, please, dear God, please.
It would be great. This one's going to be tough for me because I love both of these teams. For the tag titles, FTR against Double J and Jay Lethal.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, that
like
it will.
You said, I love all four of those guys. To me, the FTR, they just got the belts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're dropping them right away.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this might be one of those matches that people talk about for a long time.
I agree. And I think with Mark Briscoe being the guest referee, I think this leads to maybe a potential down the line Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal match.
Right. And they'll have another one of them because they did one for the Jay Briscoe tribute.
Yeah.
And I think because Mark has said he will never wrestle another tag team match.
Yeah.
Understood. But he said he'll do singles or 6-men.
Okay.
I could see this kind of having a Mark Briscoe FTR against Double J, Jay Lethal, and either Dutt or Singh.
Yeah.
In a match. I think this might grow a little bit. So.
Yeah, I like that. Mark Briscoe saying he doesn't want to be a part of another tag team because how do you ever replace teaming with your brother?
You know.
And yeah, I not that I really think it wouldn't soil the memory or anything, but like I feel like he's showing more respect to it by not joining a team, by not being part of a tag team.
Yeah. Next match
Yeah.
is the TNT Championship ladder match between Wardlow and Christian.
Um, I don't know that I've ever been less invested in such a personal rivalry.
Yeah, it's kind
Um,
of.
I guess I'll go Wardlow. Just
I think it's going to be Wardlow too. I think
yeah,
this is one of those. They're making it a ladder match. I think this goes along the lines that we were talking about with Natty and Rhea,
yeah,
and PCO and Macklin. This is kind of Christian trying to make Wardlow look good.
yeah. I agree.
I think that's what this match really is.
Because I know everybody talks about the big bidding war of 2024 with MJF, but isn't Wardlow's contract up in 2024 as well?
I think it might be.
Yeah.
So
So to me, I think this is all about they want to try to butter him up to make that like maybe a smoother process to re-sign Wardlow.
I think so.
Because I actually think that's going to be the harder one to get done.
I think so.
Because MJF, I feel like they already have a number in mind and are just kind of sitting on it to wait to announce it. Like they
Right.
want to turn it into a storyline.
Yeah, they do. It wouldn't surprise me if he's already re-signed.
Yeah.
We discussed that a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The next one I'm going to skip because I find it interesting. I'm going to go for the women's title, Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm.
That is going to be a good match. I'm a big fan of both of those ladies. Uh, I guess I'll go Hater. Although this feels like maybe the Outcast should get the belts if they're going to kind of be in the mold of an NWO for the women.
Right.
But I guess I'll go against my gut there, and I'll just say I think Jamie Hayter.
I'm going against you. I think it's going to
Okay.
be Tony. I think that somehow they're going to have the Outcast chicanery, and it just sounds like a Tony Storm victory.
Yeah.
This one should be interesting. The Anarchy in the Arena match.
I think it's going to be a very good match. This is just a build up, I think, to the future Blood and Guts match. I'm going to go Blackpool Combat Club to get the win here.
Okay.
Because I think this is just a build up to the next match, the Blood and Guts.
I'm going to be in agreement with you. I think this is to build us up to that Blood and Guts. We're going to get it. And I think that's where the Elite get their victory. So it wouldn't surprise me because usually Blood and Guts is 5-on-5. If the Blackpool Combat Club adds another member this week.
Yeah, and the Tamagotchi or Takeshita. Yeah, Takeshita joins the Elite along with Hangman, Omega, and Bucks.
Yeah. Or does he join Blackpool? Who knows what's going to happen?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be
and
interesting.
Then maybe you have Adam Cole join the Elite.
Maybe.
Because you figure he might be done with his rivalry with Chris Jericho.
He might be. But I think Adam's going to be shooting up to the top of the card.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's going to challenge MJF. I think he's our next AEW World Champion.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah. The next match will be a bathroom break for me.
All right.
The TBS championship match between.
I gotta say that'll probably be a refill my drink, go to the bathroom, throw the laundry on or something during that match.
Yeah.
Well, it's against Ty Valkyrie, right?
Right.
You know what? I'll go Ty Valkyrie.
I think this dumb streak's finally going to end. I'm going to
Yes.
go Ty as well. I'm finally looking forward to this.
Yeah, we can finally like the TBS championship can actually just be a real championship as opposed to just the Jade Cargill. I don't want to upset my undefeated streak, so I'm not going for the main championship.
Right. I think it's time. It's
Yeah.
way over this one. This was
Yeah,
an
I think even Bill
interesting
Goldberg's
match.
probably sitting there being like, wow, that's overdue.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need that.
Yeah.
It's the 6-man. If the Hardy Party win, they own Ethan Page's contract between Private Party and no, actually it's Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy against Ethan Page and the Guns.
Right. And there's no stipulation against the Hardys or anybody
Correct.
if they lose. So
Yeah.
then I guess I'll just go with Ethan Page and the Guns.
Yeah. I have a hunch that because I believe the firm has been deleted.
Right.
So I believe that this will be Ethan Page will now have his own mid-card stable. And I think someone's going to interfere and we're going to have Ethan Page, whomever, and the Guns together.
Yeah.
Next match, Adam Cole against Chris Jericho.
I am stoked for this match, and I know you already kind of teased your thoughts on it with saying you think Adam Cole is going to be the next world champion. I agree with you. So therefore, in order for Adam Cole to get there, he's got to beat Chris Jericho. And I think that happens.
And then the last match that I purposely skipped because this is fascinating. The 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the International Championship.
I feel like
only
there's going to be a title change.
I don't know. Are they going to keep the belt on Orange because they love him so much in that company? Is he going to beat 21 guys, or are we going to get a title change finally? Held that title for a long time.
He has. I gotta believe we're gonna get a new champion. Do we have? I don't know if you have the participants in the match.
Oh, there's only 4 announced as of this moment. Orange Cassidy, Aaron Solo, Powerhouse Hobbs, and QT Marshall. So it's only been announced QTV and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's really just, do we think it's a title change or do we think Cassidy keeps the belt? Whenever you give me those kind of odds, I'll always say I'll take the field. So I'll take the field.
Or should we really be venturous and try to pick the one person?
Oh geez, I'm trying to think of who even would make sense.
Because this would be interesting.
Yeah, and this might I'm trying to think of who doesn't have a match.
Right.
That would make sense here.
This is tough. This is the Battle Royal with 17 names not listed.
Yeah, I gotta say, Impact, that's our Impact. AEW, that's kind of very Impact-ish of you.
Very. Hold on. Let me see something. Because I'm sure on Wikipedia there's a list of the AEW roster.
And we can just kind of pick out who would make sense because they don't have anything else going on.
Right. Here we go. Let's see here. I'll just read some. Action Andretti, I don't think.
Nah.
AR Fox, don't think.
Nah.
Alex Reynolds, not gonna happen. I'm in the A's and I got an interesting name. Andrade.
Oh, he's still listed.
He's still listed. He's inactive right now. He's going to be coming back because they said he's going to be a major star on Collision.
Right.
Um, Angelo Parker, the Acclaimed.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Anthony Agogo's still listed, which is weird. He hasn't been on forever.
Mm.
Ari Davari. You know what? I'm going to go. Why not? I'm just going to pick Bandito. He's on the list.
Okay.
He's been on a lot, and he's been partnering with Orange.
Yeah, I mean, it would make a ton of sense.
It would. I'm just flipping through.
Yeah.
We had the Butcher and the Blade, Brian Cage.
I like Brian Cage. He's a guy that I would peg in that spot.
Right.
But, you know, he's been in this 6-man tag on Ring of Honor, and,
yeah.
You
know. Brock Anderson, Brian Pillman Jr., the House of Black. I was thinking maybe Malachi Black, but they already have the other title, so.
Yeah, the trios.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So I don't know.
What?
Oh boy, my wife just shut the door on her hand.
Ooh.
Oof.
You okay?
Yeah, that's never fun.
No. Can you bend it? Oh boy.
I guess I'll go with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay.
Hobbs wins it.
Alrighty.
It would make sense for Hobbs to win this title. He won the TNT championship. He won the international championship. You know, It means he gets every belt but the big one. You know, and you could maybe save that up for a feud with Adam Cole if he wins the AEW championship.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, we picked all 3 cards.
4 cards.
Or yeah, all 4 cards.
So we did
right.
Each. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. We were busy.
So let's see. That will be 4 times 3, 12. So about what, 14, 15 hours of wrestling this weekend?
About that, yeah.
And that's not including SmackDown or Rampage on Friday.
Correct, yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch my pick for the Battle Royal, thinking about it.
Yeah.
A name popped into my head. Miro.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I would love it if Miro won it. That would be fantastic.
I think he might win. Yes. Yeah, I think he might pull it off.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Okay. Yeah, let's make it Miro. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
All right. Well, it's going to be fun now. This is going to be a yearly thing. Maybe we'll recap it right after next year's WrestleMania. We'll see how we did throughout the year.
Yes. Yes, we will. I will have standings next week. We'll see how we do.
All right. I look forward to it. And next week, we will debut our 100 favorite matches. We'll be working our way backwards from 100 to 91 next week. And so stay tuned for that. And of course, we'll recap this crazy weekend of Memorial Day weekend. Have a lot of fun. Have some barbecue, cooked up some burgers, some dogs, maybe grilled chicken. Have yourselves a great Memorial Day weekend and enjoy all the fantastic wrestling. Everybody stay safe and have fun. And happy summer, everybody.
There we are.
Yeah. Mike, anything to add before we get out of here?
I'm good. I think we've touched base on a lot, and I'm excited for this big weekend.
And I'm excited as well. Also excited, any of the fans of the show who follow AXW and their workings here in the Pennsylvania area, what a big couple weekends they have in the next few months. Obviously June 24th at the famous Hamburg Arena.
Yep.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And
I
then
know we're looking forward. Yeah.
Tonight we're going to announce 3 guests for the Legends of Hamburg, September 16th in the Hamburg
Yes. So
Arena.
everybody check out their Facebook for that. I
Should
followed them. I followed them as a volunteer. I signed up to be a volunteer for their shows.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll see what I can volunteer for to help out.
There you go.
What a middle-aged, lazy white guy can do.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll get you to the right spot.
All right. Sounds like fun. I can't wait. Until then, everybody, happy wrestling.